guys, it's the mouth here. I, as you can see, have redone the background of my area here, mostly not for this, but just for my house. It's a whole thing. I had shelves and my son kept, bouncing a basketball, and then it would bounce against the wall and bounce against the wall and bounce against the wall. And eventually those shelves started to move and slide off. And then, all the stuff would come crashing down. And, it's obviously stuff I'm not looking to have, break all the time. So we did a little, readjusting, which is awesome. I'm happy. It's just a little bit plain in my area here, but that's okay. You can see the shadow of moi, and that's always good. So today actually I, wanted to talk about Kerry Washington because, she just had this autobiography come out. She was just on ABC talking to them. So you can always look that up over there. I'm sure it's somewhere on the cloud or the DVR or, on demand or whatever, the lingo is now. So no worries, you can watch it. It was really interesting. Her book actually sounds fascinating because obviously, she only kind of touches on it. And I know a lot of people have really been talking about the abortion thing because that's huge in America, obviously right now, but I don't really want to kind of talk about that. That's all well and good. And I literally don't care. More power to her. It's an option. It's a healthcare choice. I agree with that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I more want to talk about the fact that she discovered that her father, her biological father, was actually a sperm donor. She was going to go on that show, Who Am I, on PBS, or it was the other one about Know Your Roots. It was one of them. Regardless. Because she went to go do this show, she talked to her parents who then talked to the people and were like, will it show up, on a DNA if you have a sperm donor? And they were like, duh, of course, it's DNA. And then they had to have a difficult conversation with their daughter about, having this sperm donor, which I don't know why it's a secret in families. I don't, but it actually leads me into something that I've noticed as I've been doing my friend's Ancestry.com family tree. So it's awesome, by the way. And I've talked multiple times on, why he did it. And then also, what we've discovered, and you can go back and look at them. I don't really kind of want to rehash it, but what I really want to talk to people about is these family secrets and this darkness basically that all these families have. And it's not just his family and it's not just one family. It's a lot of families, actually. It's a ton because not only, do you do, your own DNA, but then as you branch out and do, your other ancestors or, their ancestors or your cousins and it starts to really get deep and deep and deep, you see how there are men out there who have children from other women. There are women out there who have children from other men. His family goes all the way back. His father's side goes all the way back. I've been able to take it all the way back to mid 1800s or so, which is really interesting because I'm guessing, because it doesn't say, but his family last name is Manson, like Charles Manson, but not same relation. Thank God. But it shows that the slave owner, his last name was Manson, and from there it began. And then every, that's essentially where he got his surname, because obviously in, Nigeria or, where Senegal or any of these other countries that they were just kidnapping, Black people and forcing them into slavery, they didn't have those type of names, obviously. So it's really interesting to see that, and you can go and I've been able to go all the way back. They have documentation, they kept really great records. So of course, because, as people were property, you want to keep record of it. It's part of your business and it's, important as a documentation. It's disgusting to see, don't get me wrong, but it is interesting to find out why or how or who you get your name. But what I've also discovered within his family lineage, it's not just, his mom who had multiple children from different family or fathers, and she wasn't married to them. So let's back that up a little bit. But I've been able to see that in multiple sets of people. So, sometimes it's the father and sometimes it's the mother. It doesn't really matter, but you can see And it doesn't tell you, like, it's hard sometimes. And oh, by the way, this is not just America. It's not just, you know, Black people. His mother was white. So it's definitely, it's, you know, across all the races that I've been able to discover. It's not, but it really is. And you can't see, like, did that father die? Or, you know, like the husband die? Or you don't really get a lot of those records. France is literally one of the worst countries I've seen so far for documentation. England's very good at it. You know, America is very good. That's why we have like all these censuses that people are so afraid to fill out, but you must fill them out. I mean, not only are you legally required, but it's for future generations. I would just look at it like that. But it's amazing to see. And it really, there's a lot of this fucking shit going on. I mean, it really is. And the thing is, it's like when you're not honest, I mean, I know his history. Like, I can now see, based on documentation and, you know, just like knowing people or whatever, I can see how those secrets and that generational trauma really does affect generation after generation after generation. And, you know, this is something that Kerry Washington talks about. Like, she always felt, you know, like not herself or not part of this family. And she will say that they were very loving. So it's not about, oh, my dad or my mom was mean to me, or my dad or my mom wasn't there. Not really. It's not about that. It's things that you cannot even begin to understand because it's been embedded and coded into your DNA. And when you hide things and keep secrets, it's so much more detrimental to the people around you, but then also towards those future generations. And we really need to stop that. There really is no shame in being an unwed mother. I mean, certainly not now. And I guess, you know, there was, you know, obviously a problem with that prior, but there's no shame in that. There's fathers. I mean, people, you know, I don't know that they were married to those women, especially like as I go back into, you know, the Black history, because there's not a lot of documentation the further back you go on marriage and things. So, and especially not divorce. I just, you know, assume that they were married, maybe the wife or the husband died and then someone else, you know, married them and then they had children together. But you don't know really, I mean, that's my assumption. There's no real fact in that, no documentation to prove it. And so I just think to myself, well, you know, look at these people. Like, they had, you know, this man married this woman and she had 2 prior kids, or she had 1, or I found one guy, he had like 6 prior children. I don't know that he was married to any of those wives. I know that he was married to maybe just like this one mom, but I don't know that. And then they continue to have 6 more. I mean, just to see like 10, 12, like a line of just faces or names. I mean, it's crazy and shocking, but it's important. And now, especially I think with abortion sort of being harder to come across in America, or harder to get, it's not really come across, it's like harder to have one. There are probably going to be, well, probably just more dead women, because that's typically what happens. You know, making abortion illegal does not stop abortion. It just means that women are forced to have illegal abortions in back alleys. And I know the concept of like a back alley, like, okay, no one's technically having an abortion in an actual alley, but they're going to some shady, gross place and having it performed by probably not an MD. And then, you know, hopefully they don't die. Or worse, they perform them on themselves, because there's, I don't know, different types of like things you can do. You know, I'm not really up to date on it, but you know, but then you can bleed out or have all these other things that happen. And then of course, if you're keeping it a secret that you had an abortion, because you can be arrested for that, then obviously you're not going to go to a hospital when there's a problem, and then you just die and no one knows why you died. Or they can maybe guess, but then of course it's just going to be hidden, and then it's a whole problem because now we've just hidden more things. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is that there's no use in keeping secrets, not in your family. There just isn't. You have to shine a light on all those shadowy, dark things that maybe you don't want because you're ashamed or whatever, but it's just not healthy anymore. I mean, it just, again, it becomes generational trauma. And then this person has all these issues that don't even belong to them because someone decided long ago that it was a secret, or someone decided long ago to lie about it. And that's just not fair. And it's destroying families from within. And, again, I'm not saying that it's not happening in white or Asian or purple or green families. I'm sure that it is. I'm 100% sure that it is. I can only go based on, the information that I have. And I can say that if you're going to continually punish yourself, and then you have a government that punishes you, that makes it so it's, hard for you to excel in life and hard for you to do things because of the color of your skin, you're just continually punishing yourself and punishing your family and making that gap even larger. And it's not worth it in the end. It really just isn't worth it, because now with DNA testing, forget it. Everyone's gonna know. So get over it. It's not a big deal. If there are abusers in your family, call them out. It's okay. Talk about it. If there are, and I'm not talking about just sexual abuse, physical abuse. If there are murderers in your family, narcissists, call those morons out. Stop just randomly procreating. Like, it's gross now. Like, it's unnecessary. Condoms are available to everyone. It's completely unnecessary. This is not the 1800s. We know a lot more than we did then, and I sort of half feel like people understood where babies came from even then. It really is sad. And so we don't want to have these people, looking to self-harm because they have this feeling inside of them that isn't really valid for them. Or it is valid for them because you're an idiot who's kept a secret. Why? It doesn't matter. Who supplied the DNA for your child is not the person who raises your child. And this is across even adoption, where these poor people, they're like, oh, my mom, my dad, they didn't want me. Like, no, they wanted to give you a better life. It's not about not wanting you. It's about wanting to give you a better life. And you can't just keep thinking these things, because they're just not healthy. And I just want people to, just do better. I mean, that's a big thing my daughter says now, do better. So just do better. Stop. It's enough. You're ruining generations of people simply because you don't have the courage to just say enough, and it's unnecessary. And if you don't have that courage to say it out loud with your own voice, find someone who will. There are people out there. I am definitely one of them. Send me your secrets. Send me the things that you need to say out loud to someone, and I will happily do it for you. Happily, happily, happily. I do not have a problem speaking, and I definitely don't have a problem calling people out on their shit behavior. So yeah. So that's just my take. So anyway, I hope everyone is well. I hope that all is good and everyone is having a happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's already Wednesday and it's almost October, which means it's almost my birthday. Yay! So peace to everyone. I hope everyone is well, and talk to you guys soon as some new awesome information comes out. Bye.